The galactic arena was full. Thousands of aliens sat in silent rows, staring at the giant hologram screen in the sky. The event was being broadcast live to over 70 star systems. This was the most awaited event of the year, the Apex trial. And this time, the newcomers, the humans, had entered the game. The Apex trial was a deadly tradition. One species was dropped into a wild death world, where dangerous apex predators hunted everything that moved. No weapons were allowed, no tech, just survival skills and instinct. Most species lasted 5 minutes, a few lasted an hour. The record was 2 hours, held by the Krovac warriors. But today, everyone expected the humans to die even faster. The jungle world below was called Zarkalanine. It was home to the Reserbeasts, Nightclaws, and Stormfangs, creatures so deadly that even the strongest alien species feared them. Sharp fangs, night vision, poisonous claws, and hunting packs. This planet was a death sentence. 12 humans were dropped into the jungle from orbit. No one knew their names. No one even saw fear on their faces. They moved slowly, calmly. The crowd laughed. Some aliens made bets, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, max. But something strange happened. The humans split into 4 groups. Each group moved like a hunting unit. They communicated without speaking, using hand signs and eye contact. One by one, they began setting up small traps. Not high-tech ones. Simple rope, bones, mud, and pressure plates. They were building something. But no one could understand what an hour passed. The audience grew quiet. A Reserbeast charged out. Of the forest, 7 meters tall, horns like blades, and eyes glowing with bloodlust. It ran straight toward a human standing alone, but the human did not move. The crowd gasped suddenly. The ground beneath the Reserbeast broke apart. It fell into a pit, roaring. Spikes at the bottom stabbed into its legs. It tried to climb out, but netting shot from the trees above and tangled its arms. Within seconds, 3 humans walked over and calmly tranquilized the beast. The audience sat in silence. The humans tagged the Reserbeast with a small, glowing chip, then walked away like farmers tagging livestock. More hours passed. The humans continued moving through the jungle, capturing more predators. Stormfangs howled in the night, but were caught in traps and cages. Nightclaws stalked the humans, but infrared smoke bombs blinded them. Nothing worked. The apex predators were being hunted. Not one human had died. In the council chamber, the alien leaders watched in growing fear. The Arthak warlord leaned forward. They treat the apex killers like cattle. The Ultron priest beside him whispered, "That is not survival, that is farming." Back on the jungle world, a secret drone flew close to observe the humans. It belonged to the Traders Guild, who wanted to sell footage of human death. But what the drone captured was worse. A human was feeding a Stormfang, hand-feeding it like a pet. The alien controlling the drone almost dropped his screen. The human looked up and stared directly into the drone's camera. No emotion, no smile, just cold eyes. Then he spoke, "We see you." The drone exploded. The audience screamed in panic. How did the human know where the drone was? No species could see through cloaking tech. The human commander called his team using short-range clicks. "They're watching. Keep the predators alive. Do not kill unless needed. HQ wants them tagged and shipped." Another human asked, "Are we eating them or training them?" The commander replied, "Both. The signal cut. The Galactic Council went into emergency session. Rumors spread like wildfire. "These humans are not testing themselves," said one alien ambassador. "They are preparing the planet." "For what?" someone asked. The answer came slowly: to harvest it. By nightfall, the humans had captured 17 predators. None were killed. All were tagged, sedated, and locked inside large organic crates, grown from biofoam and muscle tissue. It was clear the humans had done this before. In the control room of their stealth ship in orbit, a female human officer typed her report. "Planet secure. Apex predators under control. Awaiting shipment. No resistance detected." Behind her, a wall of screens showed other worlds, similar jungle zones, all showing humans doing the same thing: hunting, tagging, feeding, preparing. Earth was not sending explorers, it was sending farmers. Asterisk across the stars, silence had spread like a virus. Alien news channels stopped laughing. The betting lines had shut down. Nobody joked about the humans anymore. In fact, most people had stopped speaking their name out loud. There was something deeply wrong, not just with what humans were doing on Zarkalan 9, but with how they were doing it. In a quiet chamber of the Galactic Information Network, a Kreeth spy called Jorak received a secret order: go down. See it with your own eyes. Record everything. The Council must know the truth. Jorak wore a stealth cloak, unseen to any basic scanner. He had survived wars, outlived poison worlds, and walked through black holes in dead zones. He believed no creature could detect him. No one ever had. He entered Zarkalanine at nightfall. The jungle breathed quietly, shadows moving under starlight. But he felt it, something watching him. A fang screamed in the distance. Jorak moved silently toward the human camps. He reached a clearing and stopped. There were no cages, no fences, no weapons. Instead, humans were walking between large, sedated beasts, petting them, feeding them, attaching collar-like devices to their necks. The predators were calm, like trained war dogs. One of the beasts even leaned into a human's hand, purring like a child. Jorak's heart stopped. This was not hunting, this was training. A human female turned suddenly and looked straight into Jorak's eyes through his cloaking field. "Hello there," she said softly. Jorak jumped. His cloak glitched for a second. 3 humans turned toward him. He ran. Branches cut his arms. Roots twisted his feet, and shadows followed close behind. But the humans did not chase him like predators. They tracked him like farmers catching a loose animal. Jorak barely reached his extraction pod. As the engines fired, he saw them standing in the tree line, watching, smiling, not angry, just interested. The next day, the footage from Jorak's eye implant was reviewed by the Council. What they saw sent panic through the chamber. Humans had genetically mapped every apex predator on the planet. They had labeled them with color codes, movement patterns, emotional response ratings. Their digital tablets showed behavior charts and feeding schedules, not for survival, but for livestock care. They were not here to learn the jungle. They were here to control it. On Zarkalan 9, the humans expanded their camps. Each team had now created a zone separated by animal type. Reserbeasts in one sector, nightclaws in another. Stormfangs were handled with extra care, but even they showed signs of obedience. One soldier recorded a short video and uploaded it to the darknet. He stood beside a resting nightclaw and said, Day 4. Subjects respond well to vocal tones. No signs of rebellion. Muscle growth stable. Testing meat flavor soon. Feeds well with root mix and blood proteins. Good taste. Will recommend for colony harvest. That last sentence shook the stars. Good taste. The message reached pirate channels, trade ships, even underground horror forums. People began whispering, the predators are being raised for meat. Entire species had spent centuries avoiding zarcalanine. Now humans had turned it into a farm. The alien audience demanded a council response, but the council was quiet. Too quiet. Because this was not the first time. Inside the secret archives of the Trade Authority, red-marked files were opened. On at least 7 jungle planets, across 5 systems, similar human operations had been detected. All dismissed, all buried, but now, with footage spreading, they could no longer hide the truth. In one of the jungle sectors, 2 humans observed a pack of stormfangs. One male spoke into a wrist device. Behavior normalized. Aggression down 60%. Pack follows. Alpha only. Will begin loyalty testing tomorrow. Copy, a voice replied. Meat samples have arrived at Earth Labs. Early taste reviews say it's like lean buffalo. High protein, low fat. Ideal for colonist meals. The humans laughed lightly. One of the licked the soldier's glove, nuzzling against him like a trained hound in orbit. Aboard the stealth ship, a new signal came through. Command to all units. Planet cleared for Phase 2. Begin shipment in 72 hours. Earth wants clean delivery, minimal damage. Keep all species intact. The humans nodded. No questions, no hesitation, just obedience in a hidden moon base. A young alien officer named Velos watched the footage with shaking hands. He turned to his mentor. They are not just hunters. The elder replied, no, they are something worse. Velos asked, what could be worse than hunters? The elder answered, farmers who farmed the hunters. That night, another drone tried to scan the human camps. It exploded before reaching the trees and above zarcalanine. In orbit, more human ships arrived. Big ones, cargo class, massive, hungry. The galaxy shook quietly, not from war, not from invasion, but from something far worse. Silence across deep space networks. Leaders of powerful alien species met behind closed doors. Fear crawled inside their bones. The humans had not broken any law. They had followed every rule of the Apex trial, and yet they had twisted it into something no one expected, a harvest operation. But how? How could a species from a low-gravity, average blue planet rise so fast? One name echoed in every meeting. Earth in the darkest archive under the Galactic Council's core world. Ancient files were unlocked. A higher-ranking intelligence officer named Sravi stepped forward. His claws trembled as he spoke. We were wrong about them. He showed a timeline stretching back thousands of Earth years. They are not like us. They never were. The Council stared at the screen. Images appeared. Drawings at first, then digital records, then high-resolution footage. Lions, bears, tigers, wolves, sharks, crocodiles, snakes, panthers, giant birds, giant insects, ice beasts, fire breathers. Flesh-eaters. Earth had them all. 100 apex predators once roamed their world. For most species, such killers would remain forever at the top of the food chain, but not for humans. One by one, they had been hunted, tamed, caged, bred, cooked, eaten, extinct, eaten, extinct. A map appeared, showing how humans had removed apex predators from entire continents. Not for safety, not for war, but for dominance. On Earth, predators were turned into trophies, into clothing, into furniture, some into pets, some into zoo animals, others into fast food. The council chamber grew colder. Zravi spoke again. They did not evolve. As prey, he paused. They evolved by removing the predator. In every region of Earth, humans had found the strongest enemy and removed it. And when no predator remained, they turned on each other. War, slavery, empire, weapons, bombs, humans kept fighting. If no apex remained in nature, they created their own. On screen, an Earth historian gave a speech. Wolves taught us to hunt in packs. Tigers taught us patience. Crocodiles taught ambush. But after we ate them, we began to learn from ourselves. Another image came, a human child holding a pet lion cub. A single sentence appeared below. Born to hunt the hunter. In orbit above. Zarkalanine human cargo ships began loading crates filled with sedated predators. The creatures were silent, unaware of what was coming. They were tagged, sorted, weighed, and locked in frozen stasis, like meat on its way to a market. On one of the human ships, a group of soldiers sat inside a mess hall. They were eating, on each plate, thin slices of dark red meat, steamed and seasoned. One soldier smiled. Stormfang tastes like elk. Another nodded. Reserbeast has too much fat. Nightclaw is better. Agreed, the captain said. Nightclaw has bite. They all laughed. A new recruit looked uneasy. Sir, isn't this a little too much? The captain tilted his head. Too much. The recruit hesitated. We're eating apex creatures. From another planet. Shouldn't we study them more first? The captain smiled. We already have. Eating is the final test. He leaned forward. To truly understand a predator, you must take it apart. See how it moves, how it breathes, how it bleeds, how it tastes. Only then can you control it fully. The recruit nodded slowly. He took a bite and smiled. Down below, the jungle was nearly empty. No growls, no howls, no roars, only human footsteps. One last nightclaw escaped the nets. It ran into the deep forest, wounded and afraid, but it did not. No, it had already been tracked. A small floating orb followed it silently. A hunter drone, invisible to most eyes. It followed the creature until it fell from exhaustion. Then a soft beep. A pod descended. Inside, a calm human stepped out. He knelt beside the predator, gently stroked its fur, then injected a sedative. Rest easy, killer, he whispered. Your kind ruled once, but that time is over. Back on the Galactic Council world, a secret meeting ended with one final question. Are humans trying to conquer the galaxy? Sravi looked around. No, he said. They are farming it. That night, across hundreds of planets, security. Warnings were sent out. Do not challenge humans in wild zones. Do not invite them to predator worlds. Do not bet against them in survival games. Just watch them carefully. But it was too late. Earth's next teams had already launched. More planets were being marked. More predators would be tamed. More crates would be filled, and deep in Earth's biolabs. Scientists were already testing cross-DNA experiments, trying to mix predator strength with human control. They called it Project Butcher. The final shot showed a hybrid creature, part nightclaw, part human. It looked directly at the camera and smiled. The cargo ships rose from Zarkalanine like silent giants, their bellies full of cages, cold tanks, and frozen killers. Beasts. Nightclaws, Stormfangs, sedated, all neatly labeled. Row after row, crate after crate, they were stacked like vegetables in a storage room. There were no roars, no rage, only silence, broken by the soft hum of the ship's engines high above. In the command ship, a message came through. Central Earth Command confirms. Delivery location approved. Send livestock to Feeding Ground Theta. Feeding Ground Theta was a secret colony on the edge of known space. No alien had ever entered. No trade ship had ever left. It was marked as a dead mining planet in the Council records. But that was a lie. The truth was far worse. Feeding Ground Theta was a human-controlled, testing world, a giant ranch built for one purpose, to breed and grow alien apex predators for food. The first cargo ship landed at sunset. Red dust blew across the landing zone as large mechanical arms moved crates onto rails. The smell of raw meat and iron filled the air. Human workers in clean armor guided the cargo with calm movements. They showed no fear. They had done this many times before. Inside one of the observation towers, 2 officers watched the unloading process. They were more aggressive than last batch, the younger one said, sipping dark coffee. The older officer shook his head. No, we just gave the last batch too much room. This time, we reduce range, make them hungry, makes the meat better. The younger man raised a brow. Hungry predators are dangerous. The older one smiled. That's the point. Across the complex, the predators were placed in separate zones. Each zone was made to look like their homeworld: jungle, swamp, cliff, cave. But hidden sensors monitored everything: their movements, their heart rates, their digestion, even their dreams. Above the main zone was a control room. Inside, a woman in a black coat stood in front of a large glass screen. Her name tag read, Dr. Hera Klein, Predator Systems Director. Behind her, scientists whispered over data streams. Nightclaws respond well to artificial moons. Beasts attack more during music pulses. Stormfangs require blood sent every 3 hours or they go passive. Hera nodded slowly. Run aggression cycles again. I want them stressed for 48 hours before release. A junior tech asked, release into what? She smiled faintly. The arena. Far below, a giant gate opened. Dozens of apex predators were released into a massive pit. The creatures howled, roared, fought. Some tried to escape. Some tore each other apart. And above them, glass walls opened. Rows of human observers entered. Families, soldiers, children, watching, cheering, laughing. The arena was not just for research. It was entertainment. A human child pointed at a stormfang, biting into a beast's throat. That one's mine, he yelled. His mother smiled. Good choice, sweetie. We'll taste it tonight. In the kitchen behind the observation hall, meat was already being processed. Steam rose from metal slabs. Bones were ground into powder. Blood was filtered for supplements. A new worker arrived, looking pale. Is it true? He asked the chef. These are the real predators, from alien worlds. The chef, a large man with metal arms, chopped clean through a bone with one strike. Yup, the worker stared. Aren't they dangerous? The chef nodded. Sure, that's what makes M juicy. He picked up a slice of dark meat. See. This came from a nightclaw that killed 9 men in its first hour. Best taste I ever had. The worker gulped. Back in orbit, the other cargo ships arrived. Each brought more predators, more meat, more experiments. But something new happened. One ship carried not just predators, but eggs. Alien apex, predator eggs, still warm, still growing. Send them to Lab Delta, Hera said. I want to test cross-planet breeding. In Lab Delta, eggs were placed in artificial nests. Human scientists inserted trackers and gene editors. They were trying to speed up growth, to make them bigger, faster, tastier, and smarter. One egg began to move. A small crack appeared. A tiny eye looked out. But it was not afraid. It was hungry. On the other side of the lab, another project was running. Project Apex Palate. The goal was simple: teach humans to enjoy the taste of all apex species. Test meals were given to soldiers, students, even celebrities. Reviews were recorded. Nightclaw tongue has a soft, rich flavor. Stormfang liver is spicy, melts in your mouth. Reserbeast ribs tastes like smoked dragon. Soon, food companies joined. Packaging began. Frozen meals. Dry meats. Alien jerky. 1. Ad showed a soldier biting into a sandwich. Feed the apex in you. Sales exploded, and deep inside the feeding ground complex, a locked room held the original blueprint. The plan had been approved years ago. Phase 1, capture. Phase 2, breed. Phase 3, feed. Phase 4, export. In just 5 years, humanity would be selling predator meat to colonies across the galaxy. But one part of the plan remained secret. Phase 5, replace. In the council chambers across space, alien leaders met again. This is no longer about farming, one said. They are preparing us, another replied. For what? No one spoke. Because the answer was clear. If humans could turn apex predators into food, they could turn anything into food. Even us. It began slowly. At first only whispers, rumors on forgotten space forums, stories on black market. Networks. 1 report claimed a Stormfang had escaped on a transport ship and attacked a human security officer, but the human tore out the beast's throat with bare hands. No armor, no weapon. Just muscle, speed, and precision. Another story came from a jungle colony where a Nightclaw pack attacked a mining crew. 1 man survived. He fought off 6 of them, moving like a beast himself, claws, teeth, blood. When rescue came, the man was found crouched over the last Nightclaw, eating its heart raw. Doctors tried to explain it. Some said it was adrenaline, some said it was trauma. But Earth Command called it something else. Genetic imprinting, deep. In Earth's labs, scientists had already discovered the truth. Every time a human consumed predator flesh, something changed. Small at first, faster healing, better night vision, higher aggression during stress. But then, it grew worse. Faster reflexes, increased bone density, stronger muscle fibers, smarter hunting instincts. The apex, predators, were not just food, they were evolution, fuel. Earth was no longer just farming alien beasts, it was using them, becoming them. Inside a hidden facility known only as the Forge, humans were testing their first successful hybrid soldiers. The subjects looked human, almost, but their eyes glowed faintly. Their teeth were sharper. Their movements were too smooth, Too fast. The lead scientist walked down a line of glass chambers. Inside each stood a revenant. Part human, part predator, all weapon. He tapped on the glass of one chamber. The hybrid stared back, emotionless. "What do you remember?" the scientist asked. The creature replied calmly, "Hunting." He smiled. "Good, you'll make Earth proud." Across the galaxy, council leaders held a secret vote. Should humans be banned? Should Earth be locked out of the galactic system? Should war be declared? The final result: no action taken. Why? Because fear had already won. No one wanted to fight a species that hunted predators for meat. No. One wanted to test what would happen if humans turned their eyes toward them. On feeding ground, Theta, new cargo arrived, but this time it was not predators, it was soldiers, aliens, captured on border raids, smugglers, pirates, prisoners. They were brought in silently, placed into containment pens. A nervous guard whispered, "What are we doing?" "These aren't animals," his officer replied. "Orders from command. They want to test the new feeding protocols." The guard blinked. "You mean we're going to eat them?" The officer stared at him coldly. "Not yet. First we see if they taste good." Back on Earth, public campaigns began changing slowly. Protein is power. Only the strongest become part of us. Eat like a hunter. Think like a killer. No one complained. No one resisted. Humanity had changed, and it felt right. On one of the new colony ships, a group of soldiers sat in silence. Their eyes were dark, their movements calm, their skin marked with surgical scars. They were not ordinary humans. They were next. Each had been fed predator flesh since childhood, trained to track, fight, kill. Their mission: to explore new planets. Not to colonize, but to cleanse, to test which species could be used, and which could be eaten. The leader, a tall woman with silver eyes, stood before them. "We are not explorers," she said. "We are not farmers. We are harvesters." The soldiers nodded. "And when the galaxy asks what we are," she smiled, "we let them taste the answer." Back on the council homeworld, panic grew. Intelligence reports showed human colonies expanding at unnatural speed. Entire ecosystems cleared within months. Predator species vanishing. Soil changed to match Earth's pattern. Rivers filled with strange blue nutrients. It was not colonization, it was conversion. One ambassador shouted, "They are not joining the galaxy, they are remaking it." Another asked, "But what can we do?" No one had an answer, because by the time you noticed a human colony growing, it was already too late. In a dark space station on the edge of the Orion Belt, an alien noble from the Delcar Empire tried to confront a human trade officer. "You must stop this madness." The apex worlds were sacred. The balance, the human, raised one brow. "You eat meat, don't you?" the alien stammered. "Yes, but not then. Why are you surprised when we choose our menu?" The alien trembled. "We are not food." The human leaned closer. "Then stop acting like it." Later that night, the alien noble disappeared. No investigation followed, no questions asked, because everyone already knew the answer. And far away, in the depths of a terraformed jungle, a child ran through trees beside a beast. It was not a pet. It was not a slave. It was a reserbeast, bred in labs, trained as a partner. The child laughed. The beast growled happily. This was the future. Humans did not just kill apex predators, they became them. And soon, the galaxy would, too.